Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's daily recap. Let's kick it off here. The market staying strong, holding its tone on the heels of Wednesday's Fed meeting. And I talked in the morning call, if you happen to catch it, about the significance or what I thought the significance of Thursday's low would be. And I've highlighted it here. As we saw this big impulsive move up, we saw a relatively shallow decline. And I spoke on various levels this morning about the significance of that low, showing more smaller time frames, if you will, and the significance of the price action on Thursday. Well, Friday we held those lows, and we started to tick up. Now, if I go back and I show you some of those smaller time frames, here's an hourly chart. You can see, again, just reiterating some of the comments I made earlier about the significance of this pullback into this hourly rising 8-period EMA, which is a very bullish looking setup. I will say that we did have a pretty substantial little topping tail here. Again, I'm looking at some of these time frames because I think it's important to dissect the smaller term picture, the shorter term picture, and how it plays into the larger picture. With topping tails and bottoming tails, typically they're signs of exhaustion where price has run its course and then reverses, which is basically what happened here. You put in this topping tail and then pulled back. We then traded back into the middle range of this tail where you can see in the last hour of the day, last 30 minutes, sellers came in and we saw a bit of a pullback into the close. What does that mean? Well, I still think the market needs to be. I still think the market needs to rest a little bit at these levels. I do think it's going to be a bit of a tug of war. If I flip back to the daily, we still have not exceeded our prior swing pivot highs in the S&Ps. We have seen new highs in the Qs, or at least a test of, I should say, those highs, or pretty close in the QQQs. So indexes are all kind of riding at highs. The Russell, here's the IWM, here's the Russell. The Russell, the one index that has firmly exceeded prior swing highs, and you can see what we've done. So clearly the leader, and interesting in that at one point not too long ago, this was definitely the laggard index. Now clearly the one taking us higher. As far as general stocks, I covered up a pretty good roll of trade setups this morning. I talked about Facebook and showed you multiple time frames, the breakout occurring here on good volume. You don't want to chase. You never want to chase breakouts. The smart money will be to buy this pullback if and when this pullback occurs, possibly into next week, and we get some sort of healthy consolidation of price. You want to see price pull back and hold this general 81 to 81.5 range before maybe we get another leg to the upside. Facebook, really good looking pattern on both the daily and the weekly. Here's the weekly, and you can see this multi-month consolidation that we came out of this week on a nice thrust in volume. So social media, primarily Facebook, looking pretty good there. Biotechs continued their march. Pretty much we saw it in Biogen, big move up. Here's a weekly chart of Biogen, and again, just extending those gains. Now, the further this rallies, this is, again, Biogen, the further this rallies, the harder it's going to be to get involved with it. Here's a daily chart. You can see most of these gains gapping up today and closing relatively in its highs. We did gap up if you look intraday, gapping up, selling off, and then rallying back into the final couple hours of the day to close around highs. And biotechs in general, here's the IBB. This is an hourly, gapping up this morning with that Biogen news. Selling off. Didn't really see much of a snapback in the IBB on the hourly. So that this could be some signs of some short-term exhaustion. This would be a red dog reversal in a sense that it gaps up and then trades below the prior day's high, like a red dog reversal to the downside. So this could be the biotech's had a big run, and as we look at the weekly, this could be setting up for a little bit of a consolidation. Still very, very bullish looking on the weekly and the daily. But if we go down to the hourly, you can see that, again, if we don't really pop on Monday morning and we can't get really above, this general area here, this could set the stage for a little bit of a further pullback. So make sure you're paying attention to your alignment and your time frames. And make sure you're approaching each day with a sound plan. We did wrap up our third trading lab this week, run by Dave Green. If you are a day trader and you are in seek of some really hands-on guidance, we run a 1-week intraday trading lab for those of you that are day trading, taught by Dave, and it is really some of the best mentoring I think you'll probably find out there. Just to read you a quote from one of this week's participants. I just finished Dave's trading lab. He has 6 excellent setups, all with very high probabilities of success. He has clear rules for each setup, enabling traders of all levels to focus and improve their trading results. I highly recommend this course to everyone who would like to learn to day trade or improve their existing day trading skills, as well as their P&L. Thank you, Dave. If you're interested in any of those labs or any of the services we provide, you can always send an email to info@T3Live, and we'll be sure to get you into the right services. So make sure, if you don't really understand what I'm talking about time frame alignment, or how to use a weekly with a daily with an hourly, make sure that you are seeking that out, because these are the keys that make active traders ultimately successful. They have the ability to look at stocks above and beyond just what they're doing in that particular moment, so that they can make good decisions based on probabilities as to what may come next. And that is the business of trading. So these videos hopefully will share a little insight on how a trader should see things, and the way we tend to think and teach. With that, I'm going to keep it short. I just wanted to kind of follow up on some of my earlier comments from the morning call. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday.